Detective Drebenwolf has disappeared, swallowed up in the night by the inky black streets full of crime and corruption, encrusted with layers of it as though it were some kind of sinister lasagna. It's up to heroes like me, vigilantes, to enlist the aid of other heroes like Macho the Mage. We will find Detective Drebenwolf, we will complete his mission, and we will see justice done. Hello there, everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Here, going on with our first edition Pathfinder Investigator Guide. Today, we are going to be taking a look at their level 3 extracts. And man, do a lot of options really open up. I mean, I'm glad I limit myself to the number of different spells or extracts or whatever they might be, because there's a lot to go through, and there's a lot of good ones at level 3, especially as Devin Steed recently pointed out on the last video I had done, that not only can you learn extracts and formula from other alchemists, other investigators, but you can also learn from wizards' spell books too. So you have options like Haste and Fly that are open to you, and those are always going to be classic spells that work really, really well. But before we get into everything that we have on offer for you today, if you're new here to the channel, then go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or if you've already listed yourself on such an incredible roster of legendary heroes, then go on down to hit the like button and share the video far and wide. Now we'll start talking about your extracts, and to start things off for level 3, we have Channel Vigor. For 1 round per level, focus the energy of your mind, body, and spirit to grant yourself one of the following bonuses, able to change them as a move action each round. If you focus on your limbs, you gain the benefits of a haste spell, which is why we don't list haste on here, but it is definitely an important one to keep in mind if you don't pick up Channel Vigor. Mind, you gain a +4 competence bonus on knowledge, perception, and ranged attack rolls. Given that we have a good dexterity score, your ranged attack rolls will work out pretty nicely with this in conjunction, but bear in mind you're not built to be a ranged fighter. Your class abilities don't really function all that well without a fair bit of work and deviating from this particular build. Then we have Spirit, which grants a +6 competence bonus on will saves, bluff, and intimidate. Torso gives a +6 competent bonus on fortitude saves and concentration. The fortitude saves makes this worthwhile as it is because, well, that's your weakest save overall, and while you do have a decent constitution score following this guide, getting that +6 competence bonus really pushes it up into an area where it's going to make you much more able to resist any effects that would necessitate a fortitude save. But then we go on from there to our next extract or formula with Heroism. Touch target creature and for 10 minutes per level, grant a +2 morale bonus on attack rolls, saves, and skill checks. Now, the fact that that's a morale bonus, that's going to stack pretty nicely with a lot of the other bonuses you can accrue as an investigator. And the fact that this is also going to go in on saves and skill checks as well, and it's lasting for that incredible 10 minutes per level, meaning you're going to be getting through several different encounters, several different challenges, and making regular skill checks with this +2 bonus applying to just about everything you're going to have to do. Then we have the Fly spell. Touch 1 target creature and give a fly speed of 60 feet or 40 feet if they're in medium or heavy armor with good maneuverability, ascending at half speed and being able to descend at double. So you're in light armor, so that 60 feet is what's going to be applying for you. That is going to allow you to get into contact with so many different enemies, to take good positions and angles, to chase down enemies who might be fleeing away from you. And this, coupled with several other different movement options that you might have for blinking around or doing a quick little jaunt here and there, is going to really up your maneuverability and allow you to just have a great deal of dominance on the battlefield and close the distance with those targets that might not want you to make those studied strike attacks using your studied combat as an example. Next, we have displacement. Touch target to grant them a 50% miss chance, lasting 1 round per caster level. This you are going to be using on yourself pretty regularly. Going from blur up to displacement, going from a 20% to a 50% miss chance is going to be huge for you. Yes, that duration isn't great, but that duration of 1 round per caster level coupled with that 50% miss chance means when you get close to that big bad target, the person that really needs to be brought down, giving them a 50% miss chance if they have any kind of a decent attack roll is going to be a great benefit to you in making sure that you survive and are able to be a regular thorn in everybody's side. Then we move from displacement to infuse self. Target self and for 10 minutes per level become one of the following: an Aasimar, Aphorite, Duskwalker, Fetchling, Ganzi, Ifrit, Oread, Shabti, Suli, Sylph, Tiefling, or Undine. Gain a +2 size bonus to 1 physical ability score. If they have 1 or more energy resistances, gain energy resistance 5 of your choice from those listed, and any race bonuses to skills. If they have dark or low light vision, you gain those abilities as well. So that +2 size bonus to 1 ability score is nice. Throwing it on strength seems like a sensible place to go, but your dexterity or your constitution are all acceptable options as well. Apologies if I mispronounced any of those following native outsider names there. I am doing the best I can. Most of those words I've only read them. I've never heard anybody else speak them. Well, group of friends, but we're usually on the same page with pronunciation. Anyways, before I get myself anywhere else off track, moving on to assume appearance. For 1 day a level, which is staggeringly awesome, you assume the appearance and gain the voice of a small or medium-sized dead humanoid creature. You must have access to the body, which can be no more than 24 hours after its demise, or preserved via effects like gentle repose. You don't gain access to their memories, mannerisms, abilities, or speech patterns, but you do gain a +10 bonus to disguise checks to appear as the copied creature. And this is why you don't need to invest too heavily in disguise, on top of having so many other options to boost your skills. This spell will give you a +10 untyped bonus, meaning it's going to stack with anything and everything that you're throwing together to go with this. And you're going to be able to infiltrate and ruin so many different organizations' day making use of this spell. Now, ideally what you'd want to do, you'd want to learn the mannerisms. You want to learn as much as you can about the creature, their abilities, what their target. You want to learn about the target as much as possible, so that way, when they do kick the bucket, you're able to slip yourself seamlessly into their role and infiltrate whatever organization they're a part of. And this spell right here, on top of all of the other abilities the investigator gets, really makes them ideally suited for cloak and dagger style campaigns where you're wanting to infiltrate, where you're wanting these skill checks and roleplay, where it's not all just 100% combat all the time. You can still do that. You can still be amazing at that. But holy crap, do investigators make really great infiltrators and, honestly, assassins as well. Then we have several other spells, but we're going to touch on three other examples of spells that could be interesting to look at, but probably are going to have some caveats with them. Like, for example, non-detection. Now, in a cloak and dagger campaign, non-detection is going to be pretty useful, but it's not going to be useful across all campaigns. This is going to protect you from a lot of scrying magic, or at least force opponents to have to make a caster level check in order to overcome this layer of protection to scry you or whatever object this spell may have been placed on. This can be incredibly useful. It's going to certainly be more useful than the next two, but may not always be necessarily in need. Definitely not across every single last campaign either. Next is Nauseating Trail. Basically does what you think. You run around, you have a certain number of 5-foot squares you're able to affect behind you as you move, leaving a nauseating class of just absolutely filthy stank. And it's basically the effects of Stinking Cloud but just along the trail. So that can be interesting. Nauseating a target, that's a good debuff. But as a third level extract with some of the other options you have and the fact that it's working off of fortitude saves, by this point you're going to be dealing with a fair number of opponents who are going to have decent fortitude saves, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination either. You're just probably going to have other better options. Unlike Disable Construct, now in theory it sounds really cool. You touch the target, you make a melee touch attack against the target construct, and they have to make a save or be just shut down. But the thing is that as cool as that is, they get a save every single round while they're down to overcome it, and if they're a type of construct that is normally immune to magic, they get at least a +4 bonus to that save overall. And they're likely going to save. Constructs can be a significant threat, but usually, again, you're going to have other better options for dealing with the construct. That said, I still kind of like this one. I still like it. I still like its effects. I just, as a DM, or even if I were a player, I would go to my DM and say, hey, can we just kind of adjust this a little bit? Make it so that it's a save for, like, they save, if they fail, roll a d4, and then that's the number of rounds where they get to save. So they could still save on the next round, but more likely you're going to get 2 or 3 rounds when they're going to be down for. And I would rather that overall, just something where there's a little bit more variability. But, play around with it as you will. And there's plenty more other spells and extracts and stuff. I mean, with the different effects that you're able to produce, being able to drink potions and then spit them back out and still have them be viable. That opens up potions of, say, cure serious wounds as an example, or even cure moderate wounds. Those become infinitely much more viable, but there's all different kinds of interesting combination and effects that you can produce. So go on down to the comments below and let me know what other spells you might recommend. There's a whole host of them. Honestly, there really is. Just spend some time, go to the Pathfinder system reference document or the archives of Nethys and take a look around. Heck, there's other investigator guides out there as well too, like RPG Bot. They do some incredible work, and there's other people that have come up with their own thoughts and ideas on this class overall. So leave your thoughts in the comments down below, hit those like or dislike buttons, and remember, if you've made it this far despite my ramblings here at the end, you must have enjoyed something, so why not go down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. But with all that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Thank you all so very much for your time, and good gaming to you all, and you all have yourselves a good night.